Alright, so this video I'm going to show you how to expand a binomial raised to a power using the binomial theorem. And so here's the formula we have here. It says a plus b to the n is equal to combination n choose 0 times a to the n plus combination n choose 1 times a to the n minus 1 times b, and so on all the way to combination n choose n times b to the n. Now, and then this part here is just more of a compact way of writing this. It means the same thing. All right. So what we do is this right here is considered, well, you see the combination formula down here. See, this is our R. Okay. Now, your R on your combinations, it's going to start at 0 and then go to 1, 2, 3, all the way to n. So for example, if n were 4, then all of these would be 4 up here, and then this would go 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4 for the last one. Okay. All right. Now, you see the a, that's the first term in the binomial. B is the second term. All right. So notice in the first term, it's a to the n. Okay. It's this first term raised to whatever this exponent is. Okay. And then notice the last term in the binomial is the second term, the b, raised to whatever this exponent is. Okay. Now, notice for the first term, the a. Okay. It starts out, the exponent starts out whatever this one is. Okay, this exponent on the binomial is. And then notice each time it decreases by 1. So this would, so for example, if this were if this n were a 4, this would be a to the 4th, a cubed, a squared, a to the 1st. See, 4 minus 3 is 1. And then all the way down to where, and let me go ahead and explain that. See, it goes 4, 3, 2, 1, and then this last term is actually like a to the 0. Okay, but we don't write it because a to the 0 is just 1. Okay, and then the b term, well, notice we don't have it here. Well, it's there, we just don't write it. It starts out 0, b to the 0. And what's b to the 0? It's 1. Okay, so notice the exponent starts out here at a 0, and then it goes to the first, second, third, and then the last one would be 4 if the n were a 4. Okay, all right. So just remember the first term starts out with this exponent, and then it decreases all the way down to 0. And then the second term, it starts out as the second term raised to the 0, but we don't write it. Then it goes to 1, 2, 3, and then whatever this exponent is. Okay. All right. Now, let's look at the factorial. I'm sorry, the combination. So if we have combination n choose r, well, the formula for that is n factorial over r factorial times n minus r factorial. Okay. Now, for this, I'm going to show you how to do this out by hand. Okay, but you can also punch this into a calculator. Most scientific calculators, I would feel comfortable saying all scientific calculators have a combination button on it. It may be, you may see it like this on the calculator, or you may see it like this. You may have to hit another button to get to it. I don't know. It depends on what calculator you have. But if you'll look at your, if you have one of the TI graphing calculators, pull the manual out and look at it, and it'll explain to you how to punch in a factorial. If you have one of the just a scientific calculator, non-graphing, a lot of times, the cover that comes on the calculator, it'll have a little card in there that'll tell you how to do it. But what I'm going to do now is I just want to show you how to calculate one of them, and then that way when we're working the problem, I'm not going to work this part of it out. I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do it here. Okay, so if we have combination 5 choose 3, well, how would we calculate that using the formula? Well, n is 5, r is 3, so that would be 5 factorial over r factorial, which is 3, times n minus r factorial. Okay, now before I go on, let me explain to you what factorial is. Well, if you have 4 factorial, that's equal to 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. 3 factorial would be 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, that's what factorial means. So this would be what? This would equal 24, and this would equal 6. Okay, so now let's go ahead and simplify this. So 5 factorial, well, let's go ahead and do this. 5 factorial over 3 factorial times 2 factorial. Okay, now I think the easiest way to do this, if we look at this, this is what? This is 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, but look at this 3 times 2 times 1. Okay, well, what's 3 times 2 times 1? 3 times 2 times 1 is 3 factorial. So I could actually write the rest of it. I could write 5 factorial as 5 times 4 times 3 factorial instead of writing the 3, 2, 1 over 3 factorial times 2 factorial. And then you can see what happens here is the 3 factorials cancel, and then, well, 5 times 4 is what? 20, and then 2 factorial is what? 2 times 1, which is just 2, and so this is equal to 10. Okay, so you may know a way to do it that works better for you, but and you can write all this out if you want to, like this part right here, you could actually write as 5 times 4 times 3 times 2 times 1 over, and then 3 factorial is 3 times 2 times 1, and then 2 factorial is 2 times 1. So you can see the 2's cancel out, the 3's cancel out, and see this 2 and this 4 cancel out, and I'm left with 2. And so, well, what are we left with down here? Well, all this cancels out, so we're just left with a 1 down here, and then 5 times 2 is 10, which is 10. Okay, so you can see there's a couple of ways to do it. So, but there it is. That's how you Alright, so here's our example we have. We want to expand x squared plus 2y, all that to the 4th. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is we want to identify a, b, and n. So a is equal to x squared, b is 2y, okay, there's a, there's b, and n is equal to 4. Okay, so now we have x squared plus 2y to the 4th is equal to, all right, so remember that's combination n, which is 4, choose 0. Now remember the combinations, they're going to go, the n is always going to be 4, but across the bottom we call it r. That's going to start out at 0, then it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way up to 4. Okay, and then that's times a, which is x squared, raised to this power, to the fourth. And then remember, we don't write the b. I mean, it's like 2y to the 0, or b to the 0, which we know this is 1, so we just don't write it down. Okay? All right. And then plus combination 4, and then this is going to go from 0 to 1. Okay? And then a, which is x squared, and then this exponent's going to decrease, so that's cubed. All right. Now remember, our b value, our 2y, that was to the 0. That exponent's going to increase, so we'll actually have 2y to the first power. Okay. Plus combination 4, choose 2, times a, which is x squared, and then this is going to decrease to a 2, and then times b, 2y, and then this exponent's going to increase, and so that's going to be squared. All right, and then plus combination 4, choose 3, it's going to go from a 2 to a 3, times a, which is x squared, and then this is going to decrease to a 1, times b, which is 2y, and so we'll add 1 to this exponent, that's 3, plus combination 4, choose 4, times, now this 1, that would decrease to what? X squared to the 0. But what's x squared to the 0? It's 1. Okay, so we won't put the a because it's raised to the 0. And then that would be times b, 2y, and this would increase to a 4. All right. So I'm not gonna go through and calculate the combinations or show you how to calculate them. I showed you in the last problem how to do that. I'm sorry, in the introduction. So I'm just gonna write them down. All right, so combination 4, choose 0, well, that's what? That's 1, times, and then x squared to the 4th. Well, remember, when your exponents are like this, you multiply them, so that would be x to the 8th, plus, and then combination 4, choose 1 is 4, okay, times x squared cubed, well, 2 times 3 is 6, so that's x to the 6th, and then 2y to the 1st is 2y, plus, all right, so combination 4, choose 2 is 6, and then x squared squared, well, 2 times 2 is 4, so that's times x to the 4th, and then 2y to the 4th, well, 2 squared is 4, y squared is y squared, okay, plus, and then we have combination 4, choose 3, which that is 4, combination 4, choose 3 is 4, and then x squared to the 1st is just x squared, and 2y cubed, well, 2 cubed is 8, y cubed is y cubed, plus, and then we have combination 4, choose 4. Well, that's 1, and then 2y to the 4th, well, 2 to the 4th is 16 times, and then y to the 4th is y to the 4th. And so, well, here you have it. Now we just have to multiply. So that's going to be x to the 8th plus, and then 4 times 2, that's 8x to the 6th, y, plus 6 times 4 is 24, and that would be x to the 4th, y squared, plus 4 times 8, that is 32, x squared, y cubed, plus, and then this would be 16 y to the fourth. All right, so I hope the video helped. Check out the other videos. Give me a like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.